Hello, Soul Family. Thank you for joining today's live event. Our today's main topic will be mastering empathic abilities. How do they work? What are the symptoms, or how can you recognize that it's working? And basically, what can you do with it to function in a more balanced way? Because in today's world, like, we have a lot of impulses, and we also have we're living through some turbulent times energetically, globally, like, you name it. And being an energy sensitive, and also being, yeah, like, just absorbing a lot of stuff, tuning into different types of energies, also sensing the energies of the collective and people around you, can be a very tough, because you sense it to a much deeper level. And we also tend to absorb a lot of it, because, like, we're submersed in all this things happening around us. And on top of that, we're also experiencing and, like, going through our own stuff as well, which is in of itself is also challenging. But on top of that, you can, like, attract and assimilate, like, other people's sicknesses, like negative thoughts and things that they, like, put out constantly. And it's a very detrimental thing if you do it on a long run. Basically, it can be very tiring. You can even become physically sick and ill. And you can, yeah, like, you can also assimilate physical symptoms from other people by not even knowing that you're tapping into their energy, basically. So this is going to be our main topic for today. But anyone who is joining, thank you for joining. And yeah, like, please share your questions, experiences on the topic. Like, what have you been experiencing? Like, the craziest stuff that you have experienced with your empathic abilities, like maybe tuning into other people's energies, or like taking some kind of, like, sickness or something away from them and, like, having it in your own physical body, or just, like, simply tuning into different types of energies, being able to communicate, being able to use it for healing, or you name it, or channeling, for example, extracting information. There are many types of advanced phases of your empathic abilities, and we're also going to talk about those a bit later on. Okay, but there are going to be, like, 3 important points that I want to address. Like, the first step in, like, navigating your empathic abilities and, like, mastering them to the best of our abilities in this lifetime is first, like, learning about yourself, like who you are, and learning how to tell apart your own energies from other people's energies, or just in general, like, outside energies that are not your own. Like, that's the first and most important step. After that is energy protection, which you should do absolutely daily, like protect your own energy field, protect your house, your yard, your everything around you, especially the place where you sleep. It's super important. And after that, like, the third step, which is a bit more advanced, like learning how to hold your own energy, which is very important, especially if you're doing any type of energy work, like being, I don't know, I wouldn't say like dragged with different types of energies, or feel like transmuting density. It's very important to, like, learn to hold your own energy, because maybe the density, negativity, the sickness, or the darkness that you're working with can be overwhelming, and it can, like, drag you along with it, basically, or it can, like, overpower your own energy and you completely lose focus. Or in some cases, you can even lose your sense of identity while you're doing that type of work, which is not necessarily dangerous, but it can be very freaky. So it's best to learn to hold your energies, not just in, like, energy work, like if you're doing healing or any type of transmutation, but just in general in your day-to-day life as well. Because all of us are experiencing, like, challenging, I don't know, like, social events or interactions with people that, like, trigger us or are able to push our buttons, or we have some negative karma attached to them. And those situations can be very difficult to navigate and to hold your own energy, because, like, you can be, like, swept away by your emotions, or manipulated energetically or mentally or emotionally by that other person, or you name it, whatever. And it is also very important to learn to hold your own energy, to stand in your truth and not let yourself be swept away or, I don't know, like, yeah, just basically like washed away by different types of energies, because it's very easy to like get into that box, sadly. So hello to everyone, thank you for joining. I'm sending you much love from Transylvania. Lots of love to everyone who is joining us today. We have Carolina, thank you for joining. We have Jana from Michigan. Love and light to you all, thank you. And we have Spiritual Warrior. I always loved your name. Thank you very much for joining. We have Wolf Mother. Greetings to all. Sending love and happiness to all. And we have Emily. Thank you for joining. Hi, is there the best way to emotionally clearing for empaths, both from the past and daily? I think I might have to shut off my abilities from being highly sensitive. Yes, yeah, like this is where really energy protection like comes in, or psychic protection. I think like those are the two terms that we use for it at this time. We are going to go into that as well. I'm also going to address it now since you have brought it up. But I also highly recommend like doing some research on it, like type in energy protection or psychic protection. There are many forms of it. Like there isn't like a one formula that you can use and that's the only way to do it. Like I think try out different ways of doing it and basically find the one that works best for you. Ultimately, I think all of us can like develop our own way of doing it, like which resonates the most with us, and that's like the most appropriate for us. But in general, like let's get into energy protection. So before we do protection, I always recommend like cleansing your own energy, just as you've been asking. It's super important. Like, yeah, we are not going to go fully into that. The last two meditations that we did was with the violet flame. It was 2 weeks ago and 4 weeks ago. So we did 2 violet flame meditations. I recommend for personal transformation, watch the latest one. And there you go, like that's an awesome technique, how you can transmute density within yourself and also around you as well. Because like when you bring forth the violet flame from your heart, like let it flow through your entire body, also around you. It can also expand way, way beyond. And basically the violet flame is a conscious transmutational force. It's very high vibrational. It has its own consciousness, its own awareness. So you can't really do anything with it that is like detrimental or bad, or I know like how you want to label it. It's very high vibrational and it is there to transform density, fear, doubt, sickness, everything that is like out of alignment with the divine flow of things. And it's an amazing transformational tool. I highly recommend using it on a daily basis, or even if like 2 or 3 times a week. It is amazing. Like it can literally like help you with physical symptoms as well. Like it also helped me with several problems that I had in the past as well. And especially when you're like going through difficult times, you feel very dense, you're going through a lot of emotional stuff. Like it is incredibly helpful to use the violet flame and to work with it, because it can really like burn through all that density, like all those heavy emotions and energies that we also have personally, but we can also attract it and like absorb it into our own bodies as well. And of course there are like also all of us have trauma in the past, so that is also stored in the body, and it works also with that. So like modern medicine, it's only like addressing mostly the physical aspect of a specific sickness or some kind of condition. But the violet flame or this type of energy healing is addressing the problem on absolute like all levels. And it's like assisting you with a holistic way of healing the things that you're experiencing, basically. So that is an amazing way to cleanse your own body. Use it to cleanse your own house. I know people like to smudge sage, like and I think it's called cedar. That it's type of evergreen plant like pine, but it has like this very sweet scent to it. To finish up the cleansing with that. Like research smudging sage. I haven't done it in years, but yeah, like people really like it. I really liked it at the beginning. It really like helps you to like like get rid of all that heaviness and dense stuff also in your body and your energetic field, and also in your house as well. Like people usually use it to cleanse their house, their living space, especially the place where you're sleeping. It's really good to like keep that clean energetically as well, because it can have an influence over how you sleep, your sleep quality, and also what you're experiencing while you're traveling or doing weird stuff during the night. So always cleanse your house, cleanse yourself as well. And after that comes the part of the energy protection or psychic protection. Like everyone does it differently. Like in general, like for example, working with the violet flame, like sets you in a very good vibrational state, where you're able to like invoke those energies that are able to assist you in protection as well. Like I'm going to share the way I'm doing it, but there are millions of ways of doing it. The one key feature that I would recommend is like working with Archangel Michael. Like he's the ultimate protection force in the cosmos. Like especially for removing nasty stuff from your house, from your field, or whatever you're experiencing. It's great to, like I work with him all day long. So. Yes, so going back to energy protection, like I would start very similarly as I do with the violet flame meditation. Like I use the eternal fire that is made out of white light, burning inside my heart center, and just like anchoring that energy in, like feeling it, like knowing that it's there. And also, by the way, if you're new or if you're not, like we start all our meditations by first working with the with the eternal fire within our hearts. And as you're tuning into the eternal fire, like shoot up a beam of light through your head up to the central sun, from where it comes back down, goes down into the core of Mother Earth, from where it comes back up again, and like create this continuous flow between the Heavenly Father or Central Sun, however you want to call it, and Mother Earth, basically, and you're in the middle of it. You're becoming this pillar of light or fire connecting heaven and earth. And I usually ask for the guidance and assistance of the 7 archangels. Like I work with Archangel Michael, Uriel, Raphael, Sandalphon, Metatron, Gabriel, and Azrael. I visualize myself like being surrounded by the 7 archangels, like 7 pillars of light, or however you want to visualize it. And I ask that I am guided and protected, and like a bubble of light just comes forth from my heart center and like engulfs my entire being. And I'm completely encompassed in this ball of light. And I also extend it to my family members as well. I also ask for their protection as well. And I also do visualize it, how all of them are like very similarly as I am immersed in this bubble of light. After that, I ask for them to remove all density from the house, remove all debris and like all intruders and interference, and also visualize how like unwanted energies are like leaving the space, because that higher light that is coming in is pushing all of it out. And after everyone has left the room and the house and the terrain around the house, like I ask that they protect and guard our home, the land around our home, or however you want to phrase it. And I also visualize a very strong bubble of light, like surrounding, like each room. After that, like the entire house and the area around the house, and maybe even beyond that, like layers upon layers of this shielding. And that's about it that I do usually. Also, there are like more elaborate ways of doing it. But yeah, also regarding like holding protection for other people, like I always recommend, like just as I said, like ask Mother Earth and Heavenly Father and the archangels to like hold that protective energy, so that they're the ones that are actually initiating and holding the frequency of protection. Because like I'm not sure, like it's not the case, like it's not always the case, but like it can happen that, I know, like you're protecting someone with your own energy, and of course that other person is going to have different goals in life, they have a different path, and they may be like associating themselves with different types of energies. And for example, if they are, I don't know, like this is an extreme, maybe like attacked energetically, then like that attack will like bounce off of them and like go directly to you, because the protection is like coming from you, basically. Like you're the source of that, I wouldn't say like diversion, but like that energy that is like diverting the attack from them. So it's going to like bounce back to you, which of course you don't want to have. Like it's not always the case, but it's something that can happen. And also regarding like closing down your house, like this type of closing that I just said, I'm not sure that it's like so drastic, but there are types of energy protections. If you like use geometric seals, which I'm not going to share the seals, but if you like use sacred geometry and different types of seals to close off your house or an area or a portal, like that means that it's like closed in both directions. So nothing can get in, but also nothing can get out. So if you have something in the house or inside your own field that is like not in alignment with that, or it's not a very pleasant energy, it will not be able to leave. So you're going to log that specific thing inside with you. So that is why it's so important to first cleanse yourself and also your home, so you don't lock stuff into your home that you don't want to have there. Okay. So if anyone has questions regarding that, please let me know. I'm going to read now what's happening in the chat. Okay, so Wolf Mother. I was doing energy healing on someone and I suddenly got very nausea and had to leave the room. Okay, so I'm not, that's a very minimal information regarding that. Like it can be have multiple causes in my opinion and experience. Like it can come from the fact that maybe you were like channeling specific, like very intense energies coming through you, like you were channeling it through your body to assist that specific person. And maybe you were physically, you were not used to like bringing through and conducting those high vibrational energies in that quantity or in that form. And it can make, yeah, you can totally have that side effect, that it's like overwhelming your body to a certain extent, or like in many cases it is like pushing you to like flex your energy muscles, so you can yeah, like you can, it's pushing your boundaries on how much you're able to conduct, how much energy you're able to conduct through your body. The other side of it, like this is just another opinion about it, is that maybe you were like taking on certain stuff maybe from that person that were like coming up. It may not necessarily be the case, but that can also be. For example, if you like do therapy or assisting someone with their own trauma or you name it, like many intense energies can come up. And if you like, you don't hold your own energy or you haven't done proper protection work before it, then it can have a certain level of influence over you. So it can drag you with that, with itself, basically. It's not necessarily the case, but that's also something that can happen, especially if some really dense stuff come up. Okay, so Elmer, it's hard for me to interact with other people because I can feel them before they can come near to me. Yes. Yeah, like that's a very rough one. Like, and I also think, yes, Emily told, I mean, she wrote in previously, I think I might have to shut off my abilities from being highly sensitive. Yeah, like, especially when we like receive some activations, like our abilities can like reach like another level and can feel a bit like uncontrollable, that we're receiving a lot of information, a lot of impulses and energies from all directions, and it can be very overwhelming. And this is where finding your center and like knowing your own energy really comes in handy, because you have to learn to like hold your own energy. But I think the quickest and best remedy for the situation that Elmer and Emily has stated, of like feeling so much from other people, is like energy work, like being very, like very strict and consistent with your energy protection, and also cleansing yourself before you go into the protection mode. Because we absorb a lot, like just as higher vibrations always says, like we are energy sponges, and even unknowingly we do absorb a lot from people, from places, and also from the collective, like depending on how do you feel during the day or what you're going through. We have the tendency to like tune into the specific patterns or energies within the collective as well, or simply in many cases, like we take on, in this lifetime we have taken on many contracts of like transmuting density, karmic patterns, and they like periodically come up. And when we're working on that, then we may also attract some other energies related to it, which can make it a bit overwhelming. But yeah, like always do your energy protection and ask your guides, your angels, archangels, to like assist you in like mitigating and, I know, like maneuvering with all that incoming energy. So you're only experiencing and working with what is absolutely necessary. Or ask them to help you not being overwhelmed with all the energies and impulses that you're feeling, because you don't have to receive and feel all of them. Like you can filter stuff out. And also energy protection is a form of basically you stating like what is okay and what is not okay. And it acts as a type of filter that reduces the things that you experience, basically. Because here on planet Earth, we have a lot of everything. Like we have very good stuff and very dark things as well. And like here you can experience both. And we have a bit of everything all at once. And depending on where you are at that time in your life, you're tuning into one or the other to whatever level. And by doing your protection work, you're basically filtering out the negative stuff, so you're not attracting as much of it, basically. But of course it will not completely conclude it, because we're here to work with it to a certain extent, because we're here to transmute density, fear and doubt, and of course all the sickness and misalignment that is happening on planet Earth. So, hello, Emiliana, thank you for joining. We have also Adriana, thank you for being here. And we also have Istvan, hello. We have Rosie. My coworker right now is very angry and wants me to be angry with her, but I am maintaining my high vibes, which is infuriating even to her. Yes, yeah. Yep. Well, I don't really have many thoughts on that, but I definitely know that. But yeah, like the best thing is what you've said, like maintaining your own high vibration is like key, because like even if they like go through some tough times and all of that, like all of us do that, it's like very beneficial. Even if they don't appreciate it, like it's even very beneficial for them, because like you're a energetic support system for them as well, assisting them in balancing out their own energy, basically. So thank you for doing that, Rosie. So Wolf Mother, sage yourself for 5 minutes a day for protection from negative energies as well. Yeah, like in my experience and as far as I know, like saging is great for cleansing, but it's not like a protective thing. It's like removing dense energetic stuff, but it's like not giving you protection as far as I understand. Okay. And also like some very heavy stuff like, I don't know, like attachments and entities may not necessarily be impacted by it. Like that's also a factor. Like smaller energies and like parasites and stuff like that may leave because of it, but not necessarily. So saging is very good, but it's like a very light and surface level cleansing. That is why using a transmutational force like the eternal fire or violet flame is far more potent, because it like goes in much more deeply, and in of itself it's a far more potent energy than just smudging a plant, basically. Like that has its own beneficial vibration as well, but it's not as potent. And also if you're like removing some very dense and heavy stuff, like always, just as I explained with the protection work, like always ask for the assistance, I don't know, of your guides, angels, archangels, Mother Earth, Heavenly Father, like in whatever capacity you're working with higher vibrational forces. Like let them handle the heavy duty in those situations, and you're going to be only the one who like initiates the entire process, and with your focus and intent you're holding the energy so the transformation and cleansing can take place. Okay, so Rosie, I'm not sure. Yes, your co-worker. She is wondering what is different about me. It's the growing separation from her lower vibe state next to my high vibrational state. I don't know how to explain it to her since she doesn't understand energy. Please help. Okay, like that's a very big one. Yeah, like some people are open to it and others don't. But yeah, like many people don't understand like how these things work, and they don't necessarily have to. And so yeah, like we just also have to accept like some people were like will never understand it in this lifetime, and that's perfectly okay. Like they're on their own path and we are on our own path as well. So but yeah, like the best thing that you can do is, yeah, like be very respectful of her, like assist her in a very positive and constructive way. But yeah, like don't compromise your own integrity and your own, yeah, like your own core vibration just to like accommodate someone else who like doesn't understand it or feels uncomfortable by your activating energies. Because yeah, like when you like raise your vibration and you like tune into these high vibe energies, like it has an effect on everyone around you, and not everyone is like ready to deal with that or to handle it, basically, because it's a very much just as you're being activated, but you're like on board with it, that like many dense stuff and like suppressed emotions, suppressed trauma and belief systems are like coming up because of it. But you're there to deal with them, you want to work with them, you want to heal. But at the same time, like people who are around you, they're exposed to your activating energy, and the same process is happening also inside of them. But maybe they are not ready or are not willing to like process and work with all the dense stuff that are like coming up inside of them. And yeah, like they just don't enjoy it. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that we always enjoy it, but at least we recognize like what is happening and we are willing to work with it, basically. And whenever like these dense emotions and heavy stuff come up, like I always refer back to transmutation, like do the violet flame meditations, not necessarily mine, but like do your own, or maybe find another version of it. We have tools how to navigate those dense times and those dense energies. So yeah, like use the tools, because they are there to assist us. And if you like use these transmutational forces, they can speed up the healing process very, very, very quickly. So it doesn't have to be as prolonged. It doesn't have to be as hard and difficult. Like you can still, I mean, you still have to go through it, and you still have to transform that belief system or release that density, release those attachments and negative belief systems, but it will be far more easier than without it, basically. So I hope that sort of helped, Rosie. If not, then like please share some more stuff. Oh, I see you're sharing something. Okay. I will get to that too. Okay, so glow within 555. Someone close to me going through the same. Center love in the heart. Yes. Awesome. Just in time for love meditation. Yes. Yeah, like hold your own energy as best as you can. And my motto is like don't compromise your own energy just to like accommodate people who are not ready for it, or just like are not willing to make the jump. Like I don't force my energy on anyone. I'm just like holding my own center, being very, I don't know, like assisting, friendly, positive and constructive in my relationships as best as I can, and just like staying true to who I am and what I stand for, basically. And of course you will always attract people who are in alignment with that as well. But the difficult thing is when you're like just starting to like transition out of the old way of being and like opening yourself up to new possibilities and like making changes in your life, there's this like difficult like in-between phase when you have a lot of people around you who are in alignment with your own old state of being, but now you're moving out of it and they're like don't understand like what's happening to you, like why have you changed so much and why are you so annoying? I don't know. Oh yeah, or just they're just like simply bothered by your mere presence because you're of a different vibration, basically. And that's completely normal. So yeah. And also like another side effect is that you will no longer desire the company of certain individuals. Like maybe you were best friends like 2, 3, or 10 years ago, but now you're like just moved so much out of that like vibrational zone that you, I don't know, like you can't stand each other, or you're no longer compatible because you're in a completely different place than 10 years ago. Oh yeah. And yeah, like this period can be very difficult because a lot of, yeah, like people can move out of your life, but also at the same time, if you're open to it, a lot of new people can also come in who are more in alignment with who you are. So Wolf Mother, shield and protect with 12D platinum shield surrounding yourself. Sounds great. Anchor it to the earth core and to the heart of the universe, Andromeda. I also work with Archangel Collective, yes. Like working with the Archangels is amazing. Like I only started doing it like, I think 4 years ago or so. And life has never been the same. So it's great to work with them. And yeah, like also guides and archangels or higher vibrational beings, they are there to assist us in our growth and our journey, but they will like not do anything if you don't ask. So your guides are always with you, ready to assist. But if you don't ask for assistance, help, guidance, protection, or whatever, like they can't really do anything because it's your journey. And we're also in a realm of free will. So if you don't ask for guidance and assistance, like they will not give it to you because it's your journey. Like you're the expert on how to live your own life and they will not interfere with that. Okay. So Rosie, spiritual warrior, right. I said something like that to her. She didn't like it that much. I'm sending her love. Oh, I think I missed that. Okay, so we have Glow Within. Love working with Metatron Cube. Yeah, I heard of it, but never used it. Yes. So Rosie, oh yes, cleanse before protection. Thank you for this info. I seem to forget this crucial step. Like it's not, I'm not sure if it's absolutely necessary in all cases. It's something that I do. So, and it works. But yeah, like there's always this, it's not always the case, but it can be in certain types of protection. Like I don't know what you're using, but in certain cases, just as I said, like protection can like work in both ways. If like not letting things in, but also nothing can leave as well. Like that can be a good thing in certain cases. But yeah, like you can lock stuff in with yourself, and you may like think that, hey, like I did the protection work, but still I have this disturbance in the house, or something is here with me that I don't like. And it can be for the reason that you've locked that specific thing inside with you because you don't let it go. That is why it's so good to first clean house and clean your own energy too, and after that close the house. And also like these more drastical protections of like not letting in, also not letting out, like they can be very helpful when you like go into more difficult situations, like social interactions that you don't enjoy being around, or just like working, or just being at places that you really don't like to be around. And it's really helpful to like holding your own energy so you're not as influenced and impacted by what is around you, or rather what is surrounding you, basically. Okay. Because yeah, like some of them can be very overwhelming, especially like very dense and negative energies if they're like very potent. And of course, I think like it's kind of true for all of us. Like we're, I wouldn't say like necessarily scared, but we like can't really handle like very strong emotions, like not necessarily within ourselves, but like when other people are like expressing like very strong, I know, like rage or anger, or they're aggressive, or maybe they're feeling this super overwhelming, I don't know, like sadness or grief, and they like express it or like unload it on you. Like it can be very overwhelming. Maybe not for all of us, but yeah, like it can be that, even if you like do your protection work, because like automatically, like we work in a way to like, we like automatically like tune into other people's energy, like we're receiving information from them, and it happens kind of automatically. So especially if you're like very empathic and like you're very much like a people person and you're there to assist, to heal, and to love, like whenever people is like going for, when other people are going through some very intense emotions, we tend to like be, I know, like dragged along with it very easily, because we're, yeah, like we feel the same way, or like we can relate to that. So that is where holding your own energy comes in, just as Emily said in the beginning, I think. Okay. So let's see, if you do cleaning and protection, do you have to keep thinking about it through the day, or does it automatically stick? Yes. Yeah, like I think that is why it's so important to like work, ask for assistance from the archangels or your guides or whomever you're working with, so that like they are the ones that are like holding that protective space around you. Because like if our attention fluctuates to something else, it may not necessarily stick, or it may dissolve. It depends, but it's like always beneficial to ask your guides assistance to hold that specific energy for you, because we very easily get distracted, and we tend to focus on a lot of things all at once. Our attention fluctuates, and that manifestational force just like goes out the window. So always ask for your guides to help you with that. Okay, so let's see, Emily. Thank you so much, by the way. Thank you. I'm new here. I must have subscribed from watching your Thoth channeling. Oh, that's awesome. Have you watched the audiobooks? I've recently been told I may be able to be a clairaudient, but have not much experience. Yes, like that's a great point. Like we can go into the part of like how do the empathic abilities extend, because like that's just the first step of like just like a stepping stone to new other abilities, basically. So at the basis, like all of us are very much empathic with me, which means that you're able to tap into different types of energy sources. You're able to harmonize with it. You're able to feel it, to extract information from it. But that, just as everything else in the universe, like it works both ways. Just as you're able to tune into like other people's energies or whatever other type of source of energy, just as you're able to tune into that, at the same time, you're also able to like, I wouldn't say like impose your own energy, but you can like, I don't know, it's not a good word. But yeah, like you're also able to like put your energy into other people, or yeah, like for example, like if someone is, I know, like going through some very difficult times, and they're very low vibrational, you're able to tune into that energy. You can be able to feel that or observe it in an objective way, so you know that what you're going through. But at the same time, you're also holding your own center. You're holding your unconditional love, vibration, however you want to call it. And at the same time as you're connecting to them, you're able to like send what is within you to them. And at the way like if they are like very low it's very difficult to like do it in the mirror. If they're like very low vibrational, and if you're more high vibrational, then you're able to like uplift them with sending them your own energy. Basically, you're able to change them vibrationally by sending them your own energy, or I wouldn't, it's not a good word, but like imposing your own vibration upon them. You can change people's mindsets, like how they function, like what happens even in their body. So yeah, like that's kind of how healing works to a certain extent. Like you like bring in the higher light and you like extend it to another person. Like may that be hands-on healing or remote healing, but it's coming through you and you're like conducting that high vibe energy into that person's, I don't know, like auric field, physical body, you name it. And you're able to shift other people's vibrations by this technique, basically. But this is just like the stepping stone for what you're able to do. And this can like branch out in different directions. Like we have different types of senses in our physical body as well. Like we have sight, hearing, smell, taste, although I don't think we have clear tasting abilities. But yeah, like we have different senses in the physical, and this also extends to the etheric as well. And just as Emily has stated, there is clear audience, like that's you being able to hear things that are not on the physical plane, basically. So you're not hearing it with your physical ears, but with an extension of that sense, basically. You're able to tune in and sense far more subtler energies than what your physical body is able to tune into. And of course, you have, I think it's called clear sentience. I always mix these up, I'm sorry. Like you have the sight, like the extension of your sight, which you're able to visually perceive different types of things. Like you can get, I don't know, like you can see auras, like that's what many people are talking about. You can see energy fields, energies moving in and of the house. You're able to be like clear, I don't know, like maybe foresee stuff or have this very strange deja vu feeling of you already being able to perceive the event that is occurring right now, and you're experiencing things in this, I'm going to say like echoey way, but it's almost like when you're in the moment, you recognize that you have already lived through this, or you have already seen this thing unfold at the previous date. So it's very strange to explain, but I hope it was sort of clear. And of course, there's clear cognizance, I think, when you're receiving downloads. Like that's definitely the first thing that I experienced and have and still have. I think it's super useful. It's basically whenever you're like tapping into something or you have a request for information, you're like instantly getting downloads regarding that specific thing. Like it's great for like extracting information from certain things, like maybe people or places or objects maybe. And you can also, through this ability, like tap into different energy sources, tune into the higher realms, like communicate with guides, or however you want to phrase it. This is where channeling comes in as well. And yeah, like there is, I'm not sure how the smelling extends. I'm not sure what the name of that is. I only had like a few experiences, and also I remember when I brought this up, other people wrote in that they also had this. that you're like able to perceive through smell something that is not there in the physical. Like, for example, I had it with like deceased people that I know, like my grandparents, like each of them was associated with a specific smell. And like when they were no longer with us, at certain points during the day when I was alone, I was able to like perceive and smell very potently a specific smell for which there was no source in the house or anywhere around the house. And I didn't really know at the time what to do with it, but this happened multiple times. And I also remember I had it during when I met someone, like a coworker, and he was new, and there was like this very uncomfortable vibe with him. And he had, I think it's called like auric stench. It's not a pretty thing, but yeah, like I've sensed this, this type of like energetic stench, or I don't know how to describe it, which was incredibly uncomfortable, like to be near him. I'm not sure if anyone else has experienced something like that. Okay, and Rosie, yes, purple hearts and fires. We need a violet flame emoji. Yeah, I'm not sure there are so many emojis like this. There are purple fire emoji. Okay, so Rosie, I am manifesting it. Please do, yes. Okay. Okay, oh my god, we're jumping around in the chat. Okay, so I love your happy fish. And then the luscious greenery in your fish tank. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I will have to... Yeah, I don't have to recycle this one. I have another aquarium, and I will have to recycle it this fall because, by the way, like it's a natural aquarium. I have compost in it and sand, and everything in it is natural. So, and it's like a self-composed and like a little ecosystem that is like taking care of itself. I only have to turn the lights on, and I have something that circulates the water, but everything is, yeah, like the water is cleaning itself, all the plants are cleaning the water, and the fish and the snails are keeping it in balance. So very interesting stuff. Okay, so we have spiritual warrior question. Zoltan, do you have a perspective on twin flames? I used to think it was just a make-up construct to keep people in toxic entanglements of pushing, pulling, ghosting behaviors. Then I actually met mine. Yeah, like that's great. Like I'm not a twin flame expert, although I think I have married mine. So yeah, like I like to refer to it like a divine counterpart, like my divine feminine counterpart, just as like every god and goddess, if you like do a bit of research in the ancient times, had their counterpart basically who were like balancing each other out. But yeah, like it is great, but it can be also very challenging as well. Because yeah, like it's a far more intense relationship. Like I don't really know like what is it like, I don't know, to have a relationship with a, I want to say like normal person, or a bit more average person. But yeah, like as I observed with other people, it's far more superficial. Yeah, like they have a relationship in a far more superficial manner. Like we are very much connected on a very deep level, which is great, but it is also very challenging at the same time because yeah, like when things are rough or don't really work out, like you feel it way more. Like even like the smallest little thing can cause huge reverberations across the cosmos in our life. But yeah, in other parts it's really great, it's really supportive, but in general, yeah, like what I've seen online from people, it's like they feel like this is the end goal of, like, if you have met your twin flame, then you're all set and it's going to be awesome forever. And yeah, like people don't really talk about like how much work it is, because yeah, there's a lot of work when you like come together with your divine counterpart. like on both ends, because you're acting as a huge catalyst for each other in growth. Like you bring up a lot of shit in each other as well, things that you have to work through in order to like come into a much more closer and harmonized relationship. And yeah, like it could just bring up a lot of nasty stuff that you didn't deal with before going into that specific relationship. So like, yeah, like just think of it always like it's a process. It's a very long learning process and evolutionary process. And yeah, like there will always be challenges. But the key thing is that you have to learn to navigate those challenges together, preferably. Okay, I hope that helped a little bit. But yeah, like if you have found it, that's awesome. But you don't, yeah, like don't necessarily have to like be together in a romantic relationship all at once. It's not necessary. Although if you're like, if you feel like that's the next step, then of course do it. Like I'm not going to say how you should live your own lives. But yeah, like in our case, for example, I think we were like friends for like 2 years or so, I think. So either of us, like when we started to like, when we like met for the first time, we met at like different gatherings. We also had like, I think like we had like 2 art projects together or something. Like either of us, like we didn't go into the relationship for romantic reasons. Like we enjoyed each other's company, but like we didn't wanted that out of it. And after some time, it kind of evolved into that. And we like realized like, oh, like there's something very different about you. And it was like very interesting when I realized that, we like really started to like engage, like we're being in a romantic relationship. I had like this very strong emotional thing like coming up inside of me, like that I don't want to lose her ever again. And I had like this feeling that like we were separate for a very long time, and like finally we're here together again. Like I don't really know like what we have done before this, but I bet we have worked together in the past as well. Okay. So Donna, wow, you have a new image. Donna, aloha to everyone. Thank you. Okay, so spiritual warrior, 2-way energy and telepathic connection. It's crazy. Yeah, but just always think about it that in the universe and with energy, like everything works both ways. You always have like this in and out, there and back movement for everything. Like just as with, that's how our bodies work. Like we breathe in, then you exhale. That's how your heart works. That's how your digestive system can work. Like we take in energy, then release it, preferably down. Yeah, like and yeah, it works both ways, and always everything has to be like in a continuous flow to make it work. So like don't absorb energy inside of you. Like always have it be like just like with breathing, like bring in the new energy and like exhale the old, and just like do this energetic exchange with yourself as well. Because like we were not built to like hold on to energy or to store energy. Of course, I would say, temporarily and for like a specific period of time, our body are able to hold specific energies, but we will like not meant to store stuff for a long period of time. And if you do that, it can be very detrimental for the body. Like just look at the physical aspects of it. Like if you're taking in too much nourishment in your body and you're not releasing it or using it up, starts to like store, you become bigger, and of course it has some very negative side effects on your health. And also with electromagnetic radiation, like we're surrounded by electronics, also our body absorbs that electric energy, and if you don't release it, you don't transform it, it stores that energy. And like this is where inflammation comes in. Also, after you had inflammation for a very prolonged time, it can also evolve into more nastier physical symptoms, like different types of sicknesses, or you name it. So we were not meant to hold on to energies for long. we were created to conduct and to channel energy, basically. Like crystals and stones, they are great for holding energy, but we are not stones. We have a far more fluid structure. And yeah, like we are very watery. Like I think like 70% of our body is water, if I'm correct. And also our brain is like this gelatinous, watery thingy. I remember I seen some kind of anatomy documentary or something, and like whenever you see like a mock-up or something from the brain, like it feels and looks like this very solid thing, and like in reality, like when your brain is alive, usually like those brains that you have in presentations, like they were treated with something and they like solidified. But in this natural state, when you are alive, it's this like gelatinous thing that if you like let it go, it will like just go into pieces like pudding. So yeah, though our organs and our entire body is very, very sensitive, especially to electric stuff. And sadly, in our day-to-day lives, we're surrounded by electric stuff like your phone, Wi-Fi, computers, TV, like everything that uses electricity is like emitting these rays, and our body conducts it. It can also store it, which can have some very nasty health side effects in the long run. And I usually mention it all the time, but if you're having sleeping problems, like like look into how you can reduce the electromagnetic radiation in your house, because it really, really has an impact on your sleep. Like our brain is unable to go into a deeper state of sleep where it's properly regenerating if it's constantly being bombarded by EMF. Like your brain can simply not relax enough in order to regenerate properly. So that can also be a cause why you're not able to sleep properly, or you're constantly tired because your body is not able to recharge during the night. Okay, so Wolf Mother, yes, sage is like baby tools for Ghostbusters, yes. Yeah, but it's really good. I've also used it. It's really cool. It's really effective too. But yeah, like if you're dealing with something very big and serious, then I don't think it will do the thing, at least in my opinion. Okay. So spiritual warrior, he's completely at ease with my spiritual gifts. Oh, it's, yes, your twin flame. So he's completely at ease with my spiritual gifts, and we've catalyzed, healed, opened, and released a lot in this connection. Yes, yeah, like that's great. Like that's why you are there for each other. And yeah, like that's also a superb gift that like he's accepting of your spiritual weirdness because there are like so many relationships, like a lot of people writing in, and also know some people who are or were in a relationship where like the other half of them was like not accepting of these things. Like they don't have to be on board completely with like all the weird stuff that you're into or doing, but just like the mere fact of like being accepting of it, like, hey, like this is important for you, like I understand that and I respect that, and even though I don't understand it fully, but I know this is important for you, so please go ahead and do your stuff. Like that's also great. Like that's kind of what we have in our relationship. Like my wife is aware of these stuff. I don't necessarily share everything with her, but yeah, like she's aware of many things. Sometimes I also share experiences or insights in certain things. And I also noticed that in recent years, like she also started to become much more psychically aware-ish. Like she's having some very interesting nighttime experiences that she didn't have before. And yeah, like I think we're evolving together, and she's also being activated to integrate more of these types of gifts, I believe. Okay. So Emily, interesting, like remote influence. Yes, yes, yeah, like remote influence. Like, yeah, I'm going to go into that a bit as well. Yeah, like, and this remote influence can be like, there are some people who use it. I wouldn't say like for the better. Like if you like doing remote healing, like that's great. But definitely there is a type of remote influence that is like has happened or is still going on in the world. Like I don't want to say anything conclusive. That there can be like different types of rituals and energies channeled into different types with different types of intentions to like have a specific effect on the population or a specific group or the collective in general. Like you have all these huge events that act as a type of ritual where people are putting their attention, aka they're putting their energy into that specific event, which is a ritual, and that like energy is like being funneled and conducted into specific, I would say agendas, but with different types of intents to like exert a type of influence over, like maybe certain people, certain events. Like you can influence events this way, or just the collective in general. Okay. Send them good energy, remote healing, yes. Like, so energy, these energetic tools are, I would say, neutral, or I don't know, like, I think like Simon Parks was the one who said it, like, there is no like good or bad magic, like there's just magic, and there are like good or bad people, like there are people who are going to use it for their own selfish needs, and there are people who will use it to uplift others and to heal, basically. Because like the mechanisms, how it works is basically the same. It just all depends on like what is your intent. Like, are you service to self or service to others? Yes, Adriana, I sense love, light, and blessings every day. That is awesome, especially if you're able to hold that energy. That's amazing. Love and gratitude, Zoli. Thank you very much. Namaste. Yes, Emily. Yes, thank you. I'd like to become a channel. Yeah, we did a. Where you go? I'm not sure when it was. We have a live event. If you're still here, check out the live event sections on my channel page, and we did a live event 3 months ago, and the name of it is How to Channel, and it's basically a group meditation with a ton of explanations before the meditation on how it works, and it's a type of exercise that can assist you in tapping into different sources of information, different types of energies, and just like a basic practice and explanation on how all of it works. Of course, there's a lot of work involved in it and experience, but yeah, it's a very fun and interesting thing to do. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining on today's live event. I'm happy that we were able to address all these stuff. And yeah, I can't wait for next week's event as well. We will definitely have to do a meditation since we didn't have a meditation for 2 weeks. So not sure yet what will be the subject, but can't wait. So thank you again for joining. Thank you for also watching the replay. I'm sending you all much love. Have an amazing